All right, everybody, it's Stephen here on BlueMoonRisingTV, and we are back with a transfer target. And there's rumours that Pep could be spending over £100 million on two players. We already know that one of them is John Stones, and talked enough about that, so that's not going to be covered today. Needless to say, I think that will happen pretty soon, fingers crossed. But the other one is Leroy Sane. Now, we mentioned 2 days ago on the transfer target, but there's been some more updates on this, and it comes from the German press once again, and now the English press are starting to get on board with this as well. Schalke allegedly want £45 million for the forward, where City are expected to bid initially £35 million. That's not a massive gap in estimation. It may seem a lot to us, but usually when these things happen, when people kind of put a gap in what they expect, they tend just to meet in the middle somewhere. I think it's fair to say Sane is an exceptionally exciting talent. Schalke, rightfully considering that's the brightest talent of the German generation, and that seems to tally with everything I've seen of the player too. I think this one is going to happen, really. I like it as well. For me, he could be the kind of player that gets us off our seats next year. We need a player who can dribble, who can run at people, score goals, create goals. And though he is raw, and he definitely is still very, he needs honing, put it that way, there is a lot there to enjoy as a player. He attempted around 200 dribbles last year in the Bundesliga. I don't think we've got anyone who came even close to that in a City shirt. So it'd be nice to have a player who kind of gets us off our seat and gets the crowd going, because sometimes you just need that. And that's one thing we lacked at times last year. I reckon this is going to happen. I mean, I've said this before, but I do think it will happen. He's going to go on the inside ring for me, because I reckon eventually, after a little bit of haggling, I think we'll kind of confirm around 40 million or something like that. I think Schalke expect to sell him this summer, because if they don't do it this summer, he'll go for even cheaper next year due to a release fee clause he's got. So I think he wants to come to City. I think Guardiola wants him. I think Schalke resigned to losing him, and I think it's just a matter of time now. So fingers crossed that one will be done pretty soon. And on to another transfer that could be done soon, and probably is already completed. Marlos Moreno. We've mentioned him a few times on the videos here, but this one, if it isn't, well, it's not officially confirmed yet, but it may as well be, because his coach, Carlos Restrepo, who's the Colombian national team manager, and Moreno's currently playing a few games with them at the moment, he said that City have confirmed a deal, and that's the reason he won't be in Colombia's Olympic squad, because City aren't letting him be involved in that. So he's already saying publicly that's why the player can't play. Moreno's hinted at it himself. The club and all the press have hinted at it. I think it's more or less a confirmed deal. No confirmation from the club yet, but that is, as once again, right on the inner rings, more or less as good as it can be done. I like him again. He looks like another very exciting player. I like, personally, this drive, this recruitment of getting all these exciting young players before they become world stars. I don't want to see us go for the likes of Moreno or Sane in 3 years from now when they're in early 20s and they're worth about 50, 60, 70, 80 million. Who knows how much they'd be worth given the current climate of transfer fees. But I like it. Get them in young, get them in when they are still talented, when they're a more reasonable price. And for £9 million, £8 million, something like that, Moreno, he'll go on loan potentially first. I like this. I think it could be a very good signing. And there's a new name today as well that we're linked to. Joshua Kimmich. We all know about Kimmich. This one is probably going to be difficult if there's anything in it at all. The Daily Mail are reporting that we're in for the German kind of utility man. We obviously all know that Pep got into his head quite famously last year. There's clips all over the internet of Pep kind of really motivating the player on the pitch after a game, and he's one of Pep's proteges, really. He's a midfielder by trade, but last year, under Pep's tutelage, he kind of played right back and in defence and all these kind of other positions. And I think Pep would like him at City, but it'd be from Bayern. And the Daily Mail are reporting it'd be 20 million initially, but I think you'd have to pay double that. Even then, I think you struggle to get someone who's such an exciting young talent away from the German national champions, you know. I don't think they're going to want to sell any players to City this summer, given that we've got their ex-manager. I think this is too difficult. I would love to see Kimmich come in. I think he'd be an excellent squad player, but sadly, I think this is one of those. I think this is some nonsense from the papers, unfortunately. I think it's too hard to do, as fun as it would be. So he's got to go on the outer rings. It'd take an incredible development for Kimmich to be wearing a City shirt next season. So that one's not happening for me. But yeah, that's it for the transfer target today. Have you seen any other rumours at all? Anyone else you want to discuss? Do you think £100 million on Sane and Stones, is that good value for money these days, given the fact that transfers have gone mad and so on? Moreno, what do you reckon to him? Should he be loaned out next season, or is it worth having a young attacking player around the squad who could maybe be a bit of a wild card? And obviously, Kimmich, Can anyone see that happening, or am I being far too negative there? Because I personally can't. But what do you reckon? Am I wrong, Blues? Get in the comments below. Let us know of any other rooms you've seen. Drop a like on the video as ever. Subscribe, and we'll see you soon.